If you're considering moving to the Tampa Bay area and haven't decided what area to call home yet, today's video is going to be for you. I'm going to share my top 5 suburbs of Tampa, and one of them was just voted the best city to live in the state of Florida for lifestyle, so make sure you stick around for that. And if we've never met before, my name is Juan Alcalá. I make videos that are all things Tampa Bay, what it's like to live here, what it's like to work here, what it's like to play here, the food, the dining, the outdoors, the beaches, and the sunshine. I'm also a licensed real estate agent and a team leader here with the True Living Group, where we help people just like you buy, sell, relocate, and invest in the greater Tampa Bay area. All of my contact information is listed down below. There's even a link to my calendar so you can schedule a time that's most convenient for you. Happy to jump on a Zoom call with you and help you get started with the process. All right, so the first suburb I'm going to take you to is up in Pasco County, which is located just north of Hillsborough County, where Tampa proper is. We're going to drive about 30 minutes north of downtown to Odessa, Florida. Now, Odessa is one of those areas that kind of, the best way I could describe it is it kind of teeters between rural and suburban. And I wouldn't say it's one or the other. It's kind of a really nice balance of both. It is growing rapidly. There's a lot to love about it. It gets really high ratings on niche.com. It gets an A overall rating. It's recommended as the number 2 location to live in Pasco County. It gets an A+ in education, it gets an A in jobs, a B+ in housing, and a B in the cost of living. And it's really one of those quaint areas that isn't overwhelmingly busy. And if you want to tap into, a lot of activity, all you have to do is drive to the east over to Wesley Chapel, which is right down the state road there. Gives you a lot of access to the premium outlets, Costco, Target, a lot of things. There's a Publix directly in the community there, multiple. One of my favorite neighborhoods over there is called Starkey Ranch. It was voted the #1 master plan community in Pasco County for a few years consecutively. And it's one of those very unique neighborhoods that feels like it was built into the surrounding area. It really takes advantage of nature. When a lot of our subdivisions here in Florida, they go in and they just clear cut everything and they put a few palm trees back up. That's not the way it feels in Odessa. It really does feel like the surrounding area was really taken into consideration. And you have these old growth oak trees and they're beautiful. And one of the things I love about Starkey Ranch is how close it is. All the schools in Odessa, the Starkey Ranch Park there, and like you've got the soccer fields and the baseball fields and the playground for the kids, and there's hiking trails and walking trails, and it backs up to the nature preserve. It's just one of those areas that people have really come to admire and love. And obviously a huge focus on safety. It ranks really well in terms of crime also, so something that if that's important to you, definitely worth putting in your hat. In terms of commute and drive time, again, you're gonna be 30 minutes to downtown Tampa, give or take traffic, 20 minutes to Tampa International Airport, which is super nice. You're gonna be about 20 minutes away from the Costco and 20 minutes away from the premium outlets. I think that's wonderful as well. You can go over to Fred Howard, the park there, and go to the beach, and that's a 40-minute drive, 45 minutes to Honeymoon Island, and it'll take you probably about an hour to get to Clearwater Beach, give or take with traffic. Again, it depends on the time of year and what's going on over there. And at the time of this recording, the median single family home sells for right around $690,000, give or take. It really depends on the month. There wasn't a whole lot of sales in the month of November. We'll see what those numbers are in December, but typically we see sales over there from ranging anywhere in the high 5s to over $1 million. So if that's something that fits in your budget and in your lifestyle, Odessa is a great place to check out. Again, one of my high recommendations is Starkey Ranch over there. Great neighborhood. All right, so the next one on our list is actually a former #1 suburb in the state of Florida to live in just 2 years ago. So another great spot. And before I get into this, y'all, I would love to know what areas you are considering. Please let us know in the comments down below. It's one of the things that I really enjoy seeing where people have their eye on. Obviously being in real estate, I love to know where people are considering, but more importantly, if you have questions about it, other people can really kind of help lend some insight. So I think that's really valuable. Now, This one, again, getting back to the city at hand, we're talking about Westchase. Now, Westchase is a northwest suburb of Tampa. It is in Hillsborough County, and we're getting a little bit closer to the beaches, a little bit closer to the city. Drive times are going to be similar. We'll get into that here in a second. But another community that's rated really, really high, and for a lot of reasons. Now, Westchase was a master plan community, or I should say is a master plan community. And what that really means is ultimately it was designed from beginning to end with, hey, we know we're going to have neighborhoods here, and we know we're going to have shopping here, rather than the old way that we used to build cities in this country, which is like, you know, if there was a space, you would go fight it out to figure out what zoning that would be. Maybe it was a shop, maybe it was a restaurant, maybe it was a house. Like there was a lot of that kind of pieced together type of thing, and that was just because of how we did things 150 years ago. But now with these master plan communities, what they're really doing is they're saying, okay, what do we want this community to feel like? How do we want this community to live? Because that really does have a tremendous impact on the quality of life. And there's a big focus on this. So master plan communities have the pros and cons, right? One of the cons that people say about communities like this is they have HOAs that come along with them. And that is true. But because of those HOAs, there are, you know, the rules that people have to follow that tend to keep things in better condition overall. But again, this is a lifestyle thing. You may or may not appreciate that or prefer that, and that's something to be aware of. But a master plan community definitely has this going on. Now, they've got an incredible park downtown, and I've done multiple videos on Westchase. Their shopping center downtown is incredible. They got that park, they got the splash pad down there, all the restaurants you could ask for, the doctor's office, really, really cool setup. I love the community pool. I love the fact that you can drive from the neighborhood under the main road over to the park, which is awesome. It's a very, very fun thing to be able to do. And in terms of rating, Westchase gets an A+, which is awesome. It ranks A in terms of schools, it ranks an A+ for families, an A in jobs, an A in outdoor activities, an A in diversity, and an A+ in health and fitness. I mean, those are all things to love. And in terms of drive times, I'm sure you'd be happy to know that you're only about 30 minutes away from Honeymoon Island State Park, which is an excellent beach. You're only 16 minutes away from Tampa International Airport, and about 30 minutes to downtown Tampa again as well. So a lot to love. Again, the amenities you have in the neighborhood, the focus on safety, the focus on education, the focus on families. There is a ton to love about living in Westchase. And if you're wondering what it costs to buy a home here, again, at the time of this recording, the median single family home is right around $562,000. Now, this is a range. You can find them for, you know, in the high fours on the low end, and you can spend well over $1 million to live in Westchase too. Again, it really depends on your lifestyle and your budget, but these areas that we're talking about today are absolutely incredible. Now, make sure you stick around because we are still headed towards the #1 city in the state of Florida to live for lifestyle, and I can't wait to share that with you guys. Number 3 on my list is Fishhawk, and this is going to take us out to the city of Lithia on the east side of Hillsborough County. And this is one of those areas, another great master plan community. It gets an A rating according to niche.com, and there's a lot to love about this. This is a very established neighborhood. A lot of this neighborhood was built in the 90s and 2000s. The schools are very desirable, right? People are going after them all the time. You know, this gets an A to an A- in every category that matters. Education, public safety, families, diversity, weather, jobs. There is a lot to love about these neighborhoods. Again, you've got great amenities, you know, these incredible resort style pools, the parks, the walking paths, the trails, and you know, Fishhawk and Fishhawk Ranch are very desirable, but the entire Lithia area has really developed over the last few years, and it's become an area where people really love to live. Again, it's not too far away from the city. Being only about 35 minutes, it is a 40-minute drive to the airport, and if you were going to drive over to Clearwater Beach, it's going to take you about an hour and 20 minutes. Now, that is if traffic's not crazy. The one thing I do need to put in front of you is if you're going to live on the east side of Tampa, just be aware going through the heart of the city anywhere near rush hour or heavy drive times is going to slow things down quite a bit. So do keep that in mind. I've got clients who have moved to areas like Lithia and they have to drive to the west side of Tampa, and man, they're telling me it could take an hour and 20 minutes, hour and 30 minutes regularly to do that. So please be mindful. If you have to drive to the office, if you have to commute to work, these are things that will ultimately impact your quality of living. And just because an area, you know, has all the the high ratings doesn't mean it's the exact right fit for you. And that's one of the things we love to help people do, is solve that problem. You know, there are lots of places that are wonderful to live, but they may not fit your ideal lifestyle. And that's really our focus as a team. So if you are considering making that move and you have deeper questions, like I said, don't hesitate to reach out to us. All my contact information is down below. Like I said, there's a link to my calendar. You can schedule a time. I'd be happy to jump on Zoom. That way you can make sure that you are getting the best information that is going to help you make a qualified decision that is going to fit your ideal lifestyle. Now, when it comes to buying a home in areas like Fishhawk or Lithia, let's just go with Fishhawk Ranch as an example. Again, one of the most desirable neighborhoods out there. Right now, it's going to cost about $800,000 on average to purchase a home. However, in Lithia and Fishhawk, the surrounding area, you could find a single family home for as low as the 450s last month and spend as much as $1.2 million. So I think you're seeing a reoccurring theme here. Hopefully, you're starting to get a general feel of, if you want an A-rated community that focuses on safety, education, great for families, those types of things, you're going to see really consistent pricing across the board here. You're going to be in that low fours or high five range to up over $1 million pretty consistently. But what we usually see is that range between like 550 and 850 is where most people tend to make a purchase. Yeah, at least our clients. So hopefully that's helpful for you. The fourth place on my list today that I'd love to share with you guys is Safety Harbor. Now, this is an area that not a lot of people are familiar with. This is located in Pinellas County now, which is out near the Gulf beaches in that Clearwater St. Pete Beach area there. It's actually located in Old Tampa Bay. So it's right on the inside there, and it got its name because this is a place where they used to store the ships in the harbor to keep them safe. Safety Harbor, that's where it got its name. And it's got a really cool park. Kate and I have done family photos here. It's called Philippi Park. It's just absolutely stunning. They have these beautiful owls that come in every year, and people get all crazy and come down with their cameras. Y'all, you can see like 50 photographers in the parking lot with these huge lenses just looking at these things. But this park is just absolutely stunning. It's a great place to go hang out with the family. They've got the tot lot, of course, and it rates really, really well. It gets an A rating in niche.com, again, a B in public schools, A for, good for families, a B plus in jobs, a B in the cost of living, an A minus in outdoor activities, A in health and fitness, and an A in nightlife. Now, I know this is something we haven't talked a lot about, but y'all, this is a great community to go and have a dinner or a cup of coffee or just go hang out. There's this really unique home down there. They call it the bowling ball home. This artist has turned this house and just do this really unique piece of artwork, and you go down there and you can take a tour of the property, and it's pretty unique that way. It's a little bit quirky, but it's fun. And then when you get downtown, it's so quaint, man. They've got the park down there, with the big giant gazebo, and then the railroad tracks go through the middle of the community, and there's a speakeasy and a movie theater downtown, and a really great restaurant right on the railroad tracks there that Kate and I love to go to, and just some of our funnest places to go hang out and spend time together. They do, the whole shut down the streets and do the farmers markets, on the weekends. It's just one of those quaint areas that you just absolutely love, and it's right across the way. So in terms of drive time now, you can be down to Clearwater Beach in like 30 minutes or less, depending on traffic that day. You can be to downtown Tampa in 30 minutes. If traffic is great, you could be down there in 25, and you could be to Tampa International Airport in 20 minutes or less also. So really nice. Now, living that close to the coast isn't necessarily for everyone. I mean, you're probably only about 7 miles as the crow flies, and maybe 8 miles at the deepest part from the Gulf of Mexico. And again, you're right on the water. But again, Safety Harbor got its name because of its uniqueness. It does have some elevation and gives you some protection in that respect. But if you're someone who may not be a beach baby or a little bit apprehensive of living that close to the coast, the other areas I've mentioned, Westchase, Odessa, Lithia, Fishhawk, Valrico, those areas may be a better fit for you overall. Right now, the median single family home costs right around $500,000, and just like all the other areas, there's a purchase on there for $400,000 and one at $1.4 million. So unique area there. I think Travolta used to own a home there, and a few other celebrities. So it's one of those areas that got a little bit of notoriety. Again, it reminds me of the whole like Mystic Pizza thing, and that may be a very weird tie-in, but to me, that's what it really reminds me of. And again, it's quaint. I love it. I love taking the family down. Go down to the resort there, and there's a great walking path, and you can see manatee and dolphin out in the bay. It's just great. You should go check it out. And last but not least is the suburb that was voted the #1 city to live in the state of Florida, and that's none other than Wesley Chapel. Now, if you've been on this channel before, you know we talk a lot about this community. It has a ton to offer, and according to niche.com, it gets an A+ overall rating, an A+ in public schools. It is, as a matter of fact, statistically the second most safest place in the state of Florida, an A- in job, an A- in outdoor activities, an A in diversity, and it has just a ton to offer. Now, those are all stats. You can go to Google, you can find all that information, but here's the reality of it. This community was voted #1 because it's focused on safety, the education. The healthcare system here is amazing. It has the highest number of healthcare practitioners per capita and the second most insured people in the state. So that's something that's really stay focused on. You've got all the wonderful hospitals, Advent, Baycare, Orlando Health Systems building a hospital there, and many, many more, of course. Now, that doesn't include all the lifestyle stuff. Now, if you've heard us talk about Wesley Chapel, obviously they've got the man-made lagoon out there, the 7.5-acre man-made lagoon out at Epperson, which really brings the beach to your backyard, because I'm gonna be honest with you, driving to Clearwater Beach is gonna take you about 1:20 to 1:30 minutes to get there. There are other areas like Honeymoon Island State Park, but that's like 1 hour and 10 minutes. You know, you can get to Fred Howard Park in about 1 hour and 10 minutes, but you know, the beaches aren't real close. You can be to downtown Tampa anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes with traffic. Same thing with the airport, 35 to 50 minutes, just depending on what the day's looking like. Again, drive times can go longer, just be mindful of that. But on average, that's what you're gonna be looking at. And if you're looking to pick up a house, the median single family home is gonna cost you right around $460,000 on average. There was a sale last month in the high twos, so they can definitely get down there. There are some builders out there that are very aggressive, but there was also a home that sold for over $1.4 million. So just like all the areas that we've looked at, they really have a wide spectrum of the quality of lifestyle, right? And the amenities that come along with this. We haven't even talked about areas like Crate, which has these really cool events, and like the 90 shipping containers where you can go shopping, or Wiregrass Ranch Shopping Center, or going over to the premium outlets. You've got a Costco right in your backyard. They've got a Target XL coming into the community there. There's Publix grocery stores everywhere. And again, this area in general is one of those, what I would consider a very family-friendly environment. I take my family there on purpose. We live very close to the beach, y'all. And I drive my family up to Wesley Chapel. We'll go hang out at the parks. We'll go to Florida Avenue Brewing Company. They've got a really cool outdoor space. The kids really like going there, and the food's amazing too. So definitely worth the trip. You know, Toast is another great restaurant if you're into brunch, definitely worth checking out there also. And if you're considering making a move to any of these areas and you have more questions, #1, ask the community. Put it in the comments down below. Say, hey, I'm considering X. What do y'all think? Because I think it's really, really good to get perspective from other people. But if you really want to go deep and dive behind the curtain, do not hesitate to reach out to me and my team. Like I said, all of my contact information is down below. I'd be more than happy to jump on a Zoom call with you. We'll open up Google Maps. We'll talk about these different neighborhoods in these specific communities. I gave you some of my top 5 today. There are many more areas that you may find that fit your needs better in terms of lifestyle, education, maybe employment, and I'd be more than happy to jump on a Zoom call and help you shake that out. And as always, and until next time, go out and live that Tampa life.